Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by a Layla Cara herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear. Here is your assertiveness training. I want to go over self-assessment, evaluation, personal boundaries. I definitely want you to do this because this is how you're going to be able to tell if you are able to enforce your boundaries or not. And you will also be able to know if you're improving in those areas and what you need to work more on. So let's just go get right into it. Let's get right into it. Okay. This is called self-assessment, evaluating personal boundaries. Evaluating personal boundaries is essential for maintaining healthy relationships and ensuring your well-being, especially after experiencing a narcissistic relationship. Self-assessment can help you understand your current boundaries, identify areas for improvement, and develop strategies to protect yourself. Here's a cohesive self-assessment guide to evaluate your personal boundaries. Number 1, understanding boundaries. Before you begin the assessment, it is helpful to understand the type of boundaries. And then I'm going to go over all 5 of these boundaries, okay? So, physical boundaries. What are physical boundaries? They are personal space, touch, anybody's touching you, and of course, physical needs. Emotional boundaries. Your feelings, thoughts, and emotional well-being. Intellectual boundaries. Your ideas, your beliefs, and your opinions. Material boundaries, your possessions and your financial resources, okay? Your money. And then time boundaries. See, a lot of people don't realize people wasting your time is definitely a boundary, okay? So how you spend your time in your energy. So those are the boundaries we're going to talk about, all right? So reflect on past experiences. This is how you're going to do this. You're going to reflect on your past experiences, things that have already happened to you, all right? Think about your experiences in relationships, particularly with the narcissist, the one that you was with, all right? To identify where your boundaries may have been compromised. And what you're going to do, you're going to answer these questions with a yes or a no. All right, that's it. A yes or a no. Don't go into details. It's just a simple yes or no. You might want to write this down if you don't have a copy of this already. So I will put these boundaries up on the web. In the program. This will be one of your assignments that you will be able to download and print out if you need to and go over it that way. So I would definitely make sure that you have a copy of this. Matter of fact, all the assessments as well as the questionnaires, you will have a personal copy of your own that you can download, as well as go over it if you need to print it or whatever, and you can go over it that way as well. But if you're not able to print or download, this is the meaning for this particular video as well as the podcast. All right. So let's talk about your past experiences. Remember, you're going to answer yes or no. So we're going to talk about physical boundaries. Do you feel uncomfortable with physical touch or personal space invasion? That's a yes or a no. Do you feel uncomfortable with that? Some people don't. You might do. Have you ever felt pressured to engage in physical activity you weren't comfortable with, that you were not comfortable with? All right. Yes or no? Let's talk about emotional boundaries. Do you often feel responsible for other people's feelings or problems? So the yes or no. Do you feel it difficult to say no when someone asks for your help or emotional support? Do you feel like it's difficult for you to say no? You really want to say no, but you don't because you don't want to hurt their feelings or whatever. Do you feel that it's difficult to tell people no when they ask for your help or for your emotional support? This is a yes or no. Let's talk about intellectual boundaries, okay? Do you feel comfortable expressing your opinions and beliefs? Have you ever felt dismissed or belittled for your ideas or your thoughts? Let's talk about material boundaries. Do you feel comfortable lending your possession or money to others? Have you ever felt taken advantage of financial or even materially? Do you feel like people have taken advantage of you in that area? Let's talk about time boundaries. So time boundaries, do you often find yourself overwhelmed with commitment or unable to prioritize your needs? Do you feel guilty when taking time for yourself? And those are yes or no questions. Now let's talk about your current boundary practice. So that was the past. Now we're going to come to the present, all right? Now let's talk about the present. This is current boundary practices. My bad. Current boundary practices. Evaluate your current boundary practices by reflecting on your daily interactions and feelings. You're going to answer these questions honestly. Now, this is not a yes or no question. This is a real answer. You're going to give a detailed answer about this, all right? You don't have to go into like a paragraph, but maybe a sentence or two, all right? So, how do you react when someone invades your personal space? As of today, how do you react? Are you able to communicate your physical comfort levels with others? Emotional boundaries. How do you handle someone else's emotional needs in crisis? Are you helpful in those areas? Does it make you feel like you can't help them? What is it about that got you startled? So how do you handle that? So write out your answer there. Also, are you able to distinguish between your emotions and those of others? So what you're feeling, is it really you feeling those feelings, or is that someone else feeling those feelings and you are actually taking on those emotions? So like, for instance, someone has something going on and they're hysterical. You don't really have that problem, but yet you become hysterical. You have to think about that. That's not good. Okay. So just let's think about that. Are you actually taking on someone else's emotions? And let's talk about intellectual boundaries. Do you freely share your thoughts and opinions in discussions? So someone is talking, as a group of people, y'all, they talking, you hear it. Do you just freely just start talking because they talking and you want to share your own opinions? It's okay, and you should be able to. So if you are invited into the conversation, that's different if you're not. And they like, hey, this is the A and B conversation, see your way out. That's different. You just violated them. But if they have been talking to you and y'all all together in the group, should you be able to express yourself freely? You should, though. But if you don't, talk about why you're not able to feel comfortable doing this. And then do you respond to disagreement or criticism of your ideas? How do you respond to that? You have to write that down. Okay. So let's talk about material boundaries. How do you feel about sharing your possessions or money? I already told you how I feel about mine. So I talked about my money and I talked about my car. You already know. So how do you feel about it though? Write that down. Are you able to set limits on lending or giving away material resources? Something that belongs to you. Are you okay to say, no, I'm keeping that? That's not for you. You know, you got some people who come to your house, go in your closet and be like, oh, girl, I like this dress. Let me have it. No, that's mine. I had someone do that to me some years back. This when I was working at Hewlett Packard, we could wear whatever we wear, whatever we wanted. We can wear our own clothes. And I used to come there sometimes, especially on Fridays. I would dress up because I knew that I wanted to go out that night, and especially if they was letting us go home early, and I knew I was going out to a club. So I would dress a certain way, not provocative, but I would dress a certain way. And then I had this one girl come to my house. We was just, chilling or whatever. She was to work with me. And she went in my closet. She's like, let me go in your closet, girl. I want to see what you got, because you've been wearing the cutest things. And then she went in my stuff. And she's like, oh, can I have this? I said, no, you cannot. That's mine. Especially if I just bought it or I only wore it a few times. No, thank you. And she's like, oh, man, you got such cute things. No, you cannot have my stuff. So what I'm saying is, how do you address things like that? Do you have any limits on that? Don't just let people come in and take your things. And don't feel like you're obligated to always give things away as well. Because some people volunteer to give stuff away. It's okay if that's your nature to do so, and nothing wrong with that. But just be careful with what you're giving away if that's something you really wanted to give. All right. And then let's talk about time boundaries. How do you prioritize your tasks or commitments? How do you prioritize that? What's important to you? Do you put yourself first, or do you put other people's needs first? What is it about you that have you doing it that way? So write about that. Are you able to decline requests that interfere in your personal time? Yeah, you have to be able to do that. So here's let's talk about identifying boundary violation. You need to be able to identify when your boundaries has been violated, all right, has been crossed. So identify situations where your boundaries have been violated or you have allowed them to be compromised. Consider the following scenarios. Answer these questions honestly with a yes or a no. So we're going to talk about personal boundaries. Have you felt obligated to engage in physical contact to avoid conflict? Do you, and I'm talking about past and present in this area, past and present. This here area that we're talking about is for that, past and the present, all right? So that could just have happened to you, or it have happened a long time ago. So you're going to answer yes or no. Do you often find yourself in crowded or uncomfortable physical spaces? You might not have understood that. I'm going to read it again. Do you often find yourself in crowded or uncomfortable physical spaces? Find yourself uncomfortable in these spaces and it's crowded. All right. Okay, let's talk about emotional boundaries. Have you taken on emotional burdens that wasn't yours to carry? I have done that. Oh, yes, I have. So you have to understand, have you taken on that? Especially if you're in a narcissistic relationship, I'm going to say yes to that question for you. You have. If you have been in a narcissistic relationship, you have definitely taken on someone else's emotional burden because they definitely reflect on you. They like to project what they've been through onto you. And then you feel that because you might be an empath like me, and you feel that, and you've been taking on the needs to try to fix them. You cannot fix a narcissist. They have to learn to fix themselves. They have to go out and get the help that they need to be fixed. All right. Let's keep it going. I got a little passionate on that area. Do you find it hard to distance yourself from other people's emotional states? It's usually because you are an empath. You have to protect that. In my book, Breaking the Spell, The Ultimate Escape Plan from Narcissistic Entanglements, the Black Book, I talk about being an empath. I talk about how you can actually protect yourself from those emotions of other people and bringing it into your own life and your own world. Now let's talk about intellectual boundaries. Have you remained silent to avoid arguments or dismissal of your ideas? Do you often agree with others to avoid conflict, even when you disagree with them? That's your intellect. All right. Now let's talk about material boundaries. Have you given away money or possessions when you didn't want to? Do you feel obligated to share your resources even when you don't want to? Now let's talk about time boundaries. Have you overcommitted yourself to please others? I have done that before. And I had to work myself out of doing that. So have you done that? Have you overcommitted yourself to please others? Do you Do you sacrifice your own needs and well-being to fulfill other people's requests of you?
We'll be back after a quick break.
If you haven't already, check out my luxury shoe and bag collection, a Layla Carroll style. Each piece is personally designed by me and handcrafted from genuine Italian leather. Whether you're dressing up or keeping it casual, these pieces were made to help you walk with confidence. Because real style starts from how you feel. Go to alaylacarrollstyle.com and experience these bold, timeless, and completely all you. Check it out. You might find something you like. Now, let's talk about setting and reinforcing these boundaries, okay? It's time to talk about that. So, based on your reflections, based on all the answers that you have written down, let's look at it. Go over it and look at it, okay? You want to develop strategies to set and reinforce your boundaries. And for personal boundaries, let's talk about that. So look at your personal boundaries. Look at all personal boundaries. I mean, not personal, my bad. This is all personal. Physical boundaries. Look at all physical boundaries. Look at them. Go through it, okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to practice communicating your self-confident level regarding touching and physical space. You're going to practice with being assertive with your body language and any type of signals that you can put out to letting them know that you are not comfortable. You're going to practice these things. You're going to figure out a way how to talk to people about your boundaries. Instead of me leaving it to you to figure it out, I'm going to give you some examples. What you can do is be like, hey, I don't like to be touched, so don't touch me. All right? I'm uncomfortable with that. Letting them know. And then they get close, you step back and say, okay, I'm stepping back because you're getting a little too close. And you be communicative. I want to make up a word here. Be communicative. Communicate, baby. Say something. All right? Speak up for yourself. And then let's talk about your emotional boundaries. Go over that. Look at all the answers that you chose, that you've written down, okay? So recognize your emotional limits and prioritize self-care. You're going to have to prioritize your self-care and put that as the top of your list. It must be at forefront, all right? So practice saying no and delegating emotional responsibility. You want to delegate these things. And then let's look at your intellectual boundaries, all right? Tally those things up and look at it, all right? So you want to feel confident in expressing your opinions and your belief, even if they feel difficult or even if they're different from other people, okay? It's okay. You are wonderfully made. Yes, you are wonderfully made. Yes, you are. Yes, you have flaws, and it's okay to be flawed. But you have to realize that your opinion does matter. And you'd be surprised who take your opinions to heart and say, what you said makes sense. I gotta look deeper into that, So you might have some value in your stuff. So definitely share your opinions sometime. Okay, and then respectfully disagree and maintain your intellect integrity. All right. Don't let yourself down by saying, I don't really know, I don't know nothing. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You've been living in this world this long, so you know something. Let's talk about material boundaries. So set clear limits on lending and giving away possessions as well as your money. Don't give away your stuff. You need it, keep it. It is what it is. Those people can go out and figure out a better way to do what they need to do. Hey, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. If you can get out there and make the money and buy what you need, they can do the same. Now, if they are handicapped and can't do nothing, they should be getting a check anyway. They have disability checks. I know for a fact they do. Anyways, prioritize your financial stability and needs over other people's requests. You have to do that. You come first. And time, let's talk about time boundaries. So time boundary is very important because no one in the world can get time back. So you definitely want to schedule your time to balance commitments and personal needs. You also want to learn to decline requests that overextends you, as well as anything that's dealing with taking away your personal time. So, ongoing reflection and adjustment. Let's talk about that. You got to keep it going. Even though we did this assessment, you got to keep it going because this is ongoing. Boundary setting is an ongoing process. Regularly reflect on your boundaries and make adjustments as needed. You want to do regular check-ins. Periodically review your boundaries and assess you want to assess the effectiveness of the boundaries that you have set it. if its effectiveness is strong enough for you. Is it working for you? Okay. And then you want to adjust your strategies based on any type of anything that's new that came about, any new experiences, any new insights that you have learned. You want to adjust, okay? Don't stay the same. Don't be stuck in your ways, all right? Let's adjust along the way. And then seek feedback. Discuss your boundary practices with trusted friends, a life coach, or therapist. All right. Talk about it. Let's get some feedback on your boundaries. They might say that's not too much, or they might say that's great, that's good. You must keep it going, okay? And just get some feedback, and then ask questions of why they feel the way they feel. Don't just take the answer. Say why. Why is this great? And they can go into detail to give you more understanding, or why is this too much? And then they can go into details to give you more understanding. All right. So use their feedback to reframe your strengths. You want to reframe, and you want to re-strengthen your boundaries. So use their feedback for that purpose only. All right. Practice self-compassion. Be patient with yourself as you learn and practice boundary setting, because this is not going to be an overnight process. You're not going to just know it off the back. You're going to have to practice this throughout your daily life. All right. And then you want to make sure that you are celebrating your progress. Recognize the positive impact on your well-being. Has it been helping you? Celebrate that, because that'll help you reinforce it. All right. So, evaluating personal boundaries involves reflecting on past experiences, understanding current practices, identifying violation, and developing strategies to set and maintain healthy boundaries. This self-assessment can guide you towards a more empowered and balanced life, helping you protect your well-being and foster healthier relationships. Regular reflection and adjustment ensures that your boundaries remain effective and supportive of your needs. So I hope this helps. And next week is totally different. Next week, oh man, you are moving along, aren't you? So we in week 11 next week. And week 11, we're going to do some different things. And because the reason why we're going to do something different is because I want to make sure that we're going to wrap all this up. I want to wrap everything up to where we're getting more progress, and you are able to move forward with your life. So week 11 is constantly going to be about building healthier relationships, but not only building healthy relationships, to even know if you're ready to move on into a new relationship with someone. Now, you're not ready at this moment because it's only been 11 weeks. Well, 10 weeks now, but it would be 11 weeks. I don't want you to just jump back into another relationship and then you're like, oh my God, everything unfolded wrong. No. What week 11, 12, and 13 is going to be about is to help you to start incorporating these practices as you meet people. Not in a relationship to be boyfriend, girlfriend, but literally meet people. Now, I'm going to talk to you in the terms of healthy relationship versus unhealthy relationship. And this is like people that you find as your friend, or you claim they're your friend and you realize they're really not your friend. Basically, I'm going to teach you in a way to where you will be ready for a new relationship when that time comes. And you will know you're ready. Not just be ready, but you're going to know I'm ready for a new relationship now. You will know when you are. All right. So that's week 11. So don't forget to do the assignments for this week. All right. And we will talk about week 11 next week. See you next week. Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taking with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, regain control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com, at imagingcoaching.com.